Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and misery bots of all ages, back again with another video. This time, we're finally giving you the part two to the Rio Mount Rushmore of fighting games and stuff like that, and my reactions to the podcast. Definitely check out the podcast. The podcast is actually really good. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. So let's get into this particular video. Excuse my voice if I cough. I'm not feeling too well. That's why haven't been putting out any videos. But yeah,
the other day, where now they're doing this new massive Evo League, where now instead of Evo only being primarily in the USA with the championships series in Vegas and having Evo Japan, and I believe there's an Evo in France. Aside from those three, now they're opening a big league and they're showing Evo in a lot of different areas now. So now you have Evo Vegas, Evo Japan, Evo Europe, Evo local support, Evo Singapore, Evo Morocco, Brazil, China, Middle East, and Mexico. So now, in a way, this is opening a huge amount of opportunity for a lot of players out there that love fighting games, but they either don't have the resource to travel, or they can't, or they don't want to go to USA to compete in a tournament. Now they have a chance to compete in an Evo that's in their area to have a shot at, getting some of the prestige of winning an Evo, getting some of the prize pot, getting their name out there, whereas otherwise they would never have this kind of opportunity. Do you guys think this is good that Evo is doing this for the fighting game community, or is it actually bad?
I think it's bad in one aspect, but in another aspect, it's good. The aspect that I think it's bad in is what people don't seem to realize when they're reading that announcement. You're not going to go to Evo to play Mortal Kombat. You are going to go to Evo and you have to play multiple fighting games. It's not one game. So you go to Evo, you're expected to be able to play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. You're supposed to be able to play all of them.
Wait a
That's
minute,
what the
wait.
competition.
So
Yeah,
I did hear about that. I forgot to mention this, but it's great you bring that up. So now apparently they're reworking Evo in a way where now when you enter, is this truth that you're gonna have to compete and sign up in the games that are there? You can't just go there and specialize and
correct.
only play one game.
You can't just play one game, correct. So that's going to knock a lot of the low hanging fruit out of the tree for people like MK players.
so I don't know how true that is. Basically, there's like 9 Evos going on this year. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 9 Evos uh, going on this year. And basically, what they're saying is you have to play all the games or most of the games when you sign up for these Evos. I don't know how true that is. Typically, how Evo works is you can go and you can actually sign up for multiple games. At least Evo Vegas, you can go and sign up for multiple games if you wanted, if you felt confident enough to play them or wanted to play those games. Or you can go and just sign up for one. When I went to Evo in 2019, I only signed up to play Mortal Kombat. Now, in hindsight, I should have signed up to play both Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 5 because I also enjoyed Street Fighter 5 at the time. But you also run the risk of having to play both games at the same time and then having to decide which game you're going to play and then DQ from one of them. So that's one of the risks you also have to run. Uh, but he's saying that you got to basically play all of the games. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if that is how it is. But I'm not mad that there's more than one Evo. I am surprised that there are so many Evos because like having Evo once a year is kind of like the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Super Bowl of fighting games. But now you basically have an Evo damn near every month. So it kind of takes away from the magic. Now, if they had like 3 or 4 Evos, that I think probably would have worked out a little bit better. This way, you can get more people going to any particular Evo. So, like people who would typically go to the one in Brazil or the one in like Mexico or something like that, they may be more likely to travel to like the Vegas Evo. The people in Europe, there may be people from like Morocco who will be more than likely to travel to Europe to play at the Europe one. so on and so forth. Like Singapore may be more willing. People from Singapore may be more willing to travel to like Japan and stuff like that. And this way, you have bigger events, and it's not as watered down. But it is what it is. What they, I'm curious to see what they got to say about it.
Who don't play Street?
And it also with this, it also is disappointing and kind of understandable as to why something like Mortal Kombat wouldn't be in Evo, because I think Mortal Kombat is banned in some of these countries. Like I think Mortal Kombat might be banned in like China and Japan. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. But then again, I think they got Invincible Versus, which is also a violent game. It may not be as violent as Mortal Kombat, but that's also a pretty violent game, and I think that's also it. So I don't know. I retract that statement then, because that doesn't make any sense.
Fighter, you're kind of fucked. But now on the other side, on the flip side of this, the mistake that they're doing is when Evo was consolidated to Vegas, 20,000 people came to Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're not getting 20,000 people to go to each of these events. You're going to lose a lot of people because people are going to say, why go to Evo Morocco when I live in China?
Right.
You're going to have one in China. So I'll do the one in China. Now, some people will, you know, if people are smart and want to see the world, you'll travel. But now on the flip side, the fact that you have multiple games is also going to hesitate your judgment to making these trips. Like if you say, oh my God, I'm a god in Mortal Kombat, I got this. Yeah, but Mortal Kombat's only 1 out of 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And one game is not enough to carry you, quote unquote, to the top 8. You're going to need multiple games under your belt. So you're going to start to weed out a lot of people that would normally travel just to say, hey, I want to travel to Evo, you know, and that's going to hurt the numbers. The Saudi Arabian drama that's involved with it's going to hurt the numbers. So it's going to be, I hate to say it, they're going to lose a lot of money unless they scale these events back and make them like locals, which you know they won't do. But now, given Saudi Arabia's past history, they could play long game in hopes of it catching on. But it's a gamble, you know. So one of two things are going to happen: either it's going to be a blockbuster hit, which, to be honest, I don't think it's gonna, or inevitably the days of Evo are numbered for good.
Well, Evo used to be the like you were the best if you won it. Now are you the best if you win all of them?
Hey, you gotta get
Is
to the top 8.
that was a big tweet controversy today. I was reading some of the quote unquote top players, and they're like,
That's crazy. If you got to be on some, you got to win all of them in order to be considered the best player. That's wild. That's such a ridiculous standard.
well, Evo's a joke now because now you got to win all of them. It used to be like the only just you know Vegas, you win it, you're the best. That's it. Now they branched out.
And the reason why you went to Vegas, you won it, and you felt like you were the best was because the Evo Vegas, which was the basically one of the only Evos at the time, was like the Super Bowl of the fighting game community.
Out to what 12 a year or whatever it is. So, as a casual player, I'm happy I can go to the one in France if I ever go. I don't go to events anymore, but that'd be fun to just go hang out. But you know, I don't care anymore. But what about the top Street Fighter guys? They're traveling all around the world to each Evo. Expensive.
And that's the other thing. It's, you know, this ain't like traveling from fucking New York to California. This is traveling America to fucking Morocco or fucking Saudi Arabia or China, that for the matter. You know.
Yeah, and those are very long travels. Like for example, you know, America to Japan and stuff like that. That's a very long traveling time. Whereas like traveling from America to Mexico or vice versa, that's not as long. You can basically drive to Mexico from the Americas. And I have to imagine it's the same from like China to Japan. It's not as far as a plane ride and stuff like that. So that's why it would make more sense to consolidate.
$600 tickets is a lot, but to go to Japan and China, it's like $1,200.
Yep,
Yep, there's a
visas and all
cost
this,
input.
this
Yep,
stuff that you need. And
traveling
most
costs
players
and
aren't sponsored, so let's.
it is like big traveling costs, like bigger traveling costs to travel that far. You also have just all of the what was I gonna say, like the TSA and stuff like that, having to deal with the TSA and all of the restrictions in regards to like traveling, needing to get your passport and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Change over your money and things of that nature. Which obviously, if you went from like Mexico to Vegas, it'd be the same thing. But I don't know.
I don't know. It seems there's going to be regional
$300
champions.
$300 price tag to get in.
Yeah, dude, fuck that. I ain't paying any of that.
Yeah,
You know,
I want to touch on what James mentioned earlier regarding the whole you need to play other games now at Evo. What if somebody doesn't want to? They just want to go to Evo and play one. Are they going to get denied entry?
well, it don't matter.
Mm.
You're not winning nothing. You can go there, play and lose, and then DQ yourself for the other games. But then what's the point? You might as well just stay home at that point.
Yeah, but here's the issue. That looks really ugly. So let's say they're like, oh, you cannot play an Evo unless you sign up for all our games. You want to see people play all the games. But what if a lot of players are like, yo, I'm here to play Tekken. I don't want to play Street Fighter or these other games. And the other players are like, I'm here to play Tekken. I don't want to play these other games. What if you look at pool matches or they're doing stream matches on the Evo stream and all you see is these two players are up next. Oh, one of them didn't show up, DQ'd. Next match. Oh, one of them showed up, DQ'd. I mean, surely
No, they
they're
probably
gonna
have to
realize...
show up and lose. They probably have. I'm not sure about any of this stuff, but I'm sure Jimmy's right. I don't know if you got to play them all, but if you get signed up for all of them, you probably have to go through the brackets and just lose right away. You can't just not play.
Which sounds tea. I
would be
wonder
the
why they
point.
decided to do that. They should have, in my opinion.
I can understand their theory. The theory of who's the best fighting game player can get decided by this route. Because the best fighting game player isn't somebody who specializes in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It's somebody who specializes in fighting games. So he should be able to play anime, Smash, Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat.
That is a wild statement. Yes, if you are proficient in multiple fighting games, that is an accomplishment. Somebody I feel though doesn't get enough recognition for that is somebody like Sonic Fox, who's won Evos in both Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Squirrel Girls, and as well as I think it was Dragon Ball Fighters. He won a championship, so he's won in like 4 different types of fighting games. You know what I mean? But the thing about fighting games is certain fighting games is wildly different than others. Like something like a Mortal Kombat is very different from even another single player 1v1 type, not single player, but 1v1 type fighting game like Street Fighter. Like the inputs are wildly different. Excuse me. Then you also have like your arena fighters, like your Ultimate Ninja Storms, your Dragon Ball Budokais and stuff like that. Then you also have your 3D fighters, like your Tekken, your Dead or Alive, your Virtual Fighter, your Soul Calibers. You also then have like your tag fighters, like your 2XKO and your Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. So fighting games is wildly different. To expect somebody to be proficient in all of them is insane. That's like saying that, if you are good and you're a top Call of Duty player and stuff like that, and you're winning championships in like Call of Duty, you should be able to also go to a Fortnite championship and win. You should also be able to go to a Battlefield championship and win. You should also be able to go to a Destiny championship and win, an Apex championship and win, a Arch Raiders championship and win. You know what I mean? Like that's such a wild thing. Like other genres wouldn't do that. Even though those are all shooters, those shooters are wildly different from each other. Some are third-person shooters, some are first-person shooters. Some are open world, some are battle royales. You know what I mean? Like some have mechanics that others do not have. Like Fortnite has the building mechanics and stuff like that. And that's the same thing with fighting games. So like a person who is a champion in like Fortnite or Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever, you know what I mean? They're not expected to in order to be the best in shooting games, expected to be good in some of those other games. So to be here and say like, yo, you got to be proficient in all these fighting games, which there's a ton of fighting games. That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
If you can't do that or you don't want to do that, there's no reason for you to go to the event itself because the event is telling you what it is. So even if you say, hey, I just like Mortal Kombat, they're going to go, what's the point for coming? Because that's just, if you win it, it's just some points added on to your overall. If you're not going to play the others, you might have been the best at Mortal Kombat, but you only got 20 points, and it's whoever can get to 100.
Yeah, it just
So
seems
why
to
go?
me, it seems like a weird way to rebrand and redo the Evo
Does it say that
structure.
anywhere though? Where did you find that out, Jimmy? Does it? Is that like a new rule, or has it always been like that?
No,
No,
it's
it's
never
not
been
always
like that.
been like
I think it's a new rule. It's never been like
It-
that.
Is it written any?
Yeah, it's written on the website.
Wow,
It's written on the website where it basically says who's the best multiplayer game player.
I feel like the better way they could approach this is instead of rebranding Evo to be this, what they should have done was make a new tournament that's not associated to Evo. It wouldn't be called Evo 2 or Evo. It would just be called a whole new name, whole new tournament sponsored by the same people that did Evo. And in this new tournament, you can call it who is the all-time best fighting game tournament player, and then you can have all the rules and that would be better than because when I look at this as someone who knows what Evo was, it just looks very confusing. It's like they're changing Evo to be something else, and this may turn
But what
off a
did
lot
that
of
announcement
players.
say? Did you guys? I didn't read that announcement. What was the? There was a big thing about it. What was the? What is the announcement now that they have Evos everywhere,
So
and now you got to play all the games?
so in the main title it said new Evo series announced. One of the parts was a new tournament format where players will have to display mastery of multiple fighting games. So it
Oh,
mentions,
okay.
yeah, this is about. So if you're someone like a Chris G, a Sonic Fox, this is gonna be your time to shine because we all know those two players I just mentioned. They play multiple games, they excel in multiple games. So players that
Oh
are
yeah.
used to playing one game all the time, like if you only play Tekken, if you only play Mortal Kombat, if you only play Street Fighter, this may be a bit of a hurdle to overcome, or maybe even a turnoff for you even wanting to go because it's like, well, what is this? I don't.
Wow, this is actually interesting. Then this is good.
I wonder what the number is, because if it's just two different fighting games, then excuse me, then I would probably be able to attend something like this because I do like playing both Street Fighter 6 as well as at least Mortal Kombat 11. But unfortunately, neither Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat 1 is there. I don't really like Mortal Kombat 1, but I feel like I'm proficient enough in it to kind of sort of compete and maybe even make it out of pools. But I have been playing 2XKO now. I'm nowhere near as good because I'm not as good in tag based fighting games. Nor do I really like tag based fighting games as much as like 1v1 type fighting games. But if it's just two, like I could partake in like Street Fighter 6 and then like 2XKO. So yeah. And then you also got like the Invincible game. Like I am interested in both the Invincible and the Avatar game. Now, in terms of the Invincible game, it is unfortunate that for me, it's unfortunate that I think that's also like a tag based fighting game. Like I don't know why there's so many tag based fighting games coming out. But if I recall correctly, the Avatar game is actually like 1v1. So
Gonna weed out lots of stuff.
Yeah, well, the concept is interesting. I just don't like how it's kind of rebranded. I think they should have came up with a whole new tournament and called it a different name rather than Evo, because now it becomes a little confusing. I think Evo already had the prestige and a big name. They could have made a new tournament or a new series and called it something else. That way, it doesn't conflate with Evo. Because now I feel like the problem is there's 12 Evos a year, and now, like James said, Evo diminishes and when you win. Why would I want to go to the one in China when I can play in the one in Brazil? Like what?
Mm-hmm.
It causes a lot of
That's an
issues like
interesting
that.
point. But I think this is quite interesting, actually.
Yeah, in my
Maybe people getting
opinion,
tired. Maybe people getting tired of a championship. That this guy's always going to be in top 5, top 8 in Street Fighter. This guy's always going to be top 8 in Tekken. Maybe now you're going to find out who like the best. Yeah, maybe Sonic Fox and Chris G. Like maybe they finally get there, and that's cool. I think it's okay. I think it's mix
you
it
know
up a
what's
little.
funny? What's funny is usually at tournaments, the players that play multiple fighting games are held back because of that. Because think about it, you play multiple fighting games, you go to a fighting game, you enter multiple tournaments. In
Yep.
all the tournaments you enter in, you have to go up against player after player of people that are specializing, grinding, exclusively playing this one fighting game that you just entered all the time. Now, for the first time, the players that are constantly juggling, playing multiple different fighting games, they're going to finally be able to feel like, wow, I'm actually getting rewarded now because I get to play people that are doing the same thing instead of me having to go up against only Tekken players.
Honestly, I do feel like if you're somebody who plays fighting games, you should be venturing into other fighting games. Like, I don't feel like you should be, I don't believe, like, not feel, I don't believe you should be pigeonholed to one fighting game, not even one type of fighting, just one fighting game. You know what I mean? Like, if you play Street Fighter, you should also be playing like another fighting game. Like, for example, myself, like, I play so many fighting games. Like, my main ones are Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. But obviously, I already told you I played 2XKO. I've played Dragon Ball Fighters. I've played the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I played, what else? Dead or Alive. So yeah, so I've played different types of fighting games. I may not play it to the same extent or level because there is a time constraint behind it. So obviously, I'm gonna play the games that I enjoy playing more, like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. But I do still make time for something like 2XKO and even the Ultimate Ninja Storm. And yeah, I've seen streams of that on my channel. Now, in terms of, it's the same thing like with other genre of games too. So for example, if you play shooting games, chances are like Battlefield's probably not the only shooting game you're playing. You're probably also playing something like Apex Legends as well, or Fortnite, or Call of Duty. You might also be playing like, I don't know, Division or Rainbow Six Siege. Like even the people I know who are like Call of Duty fans, they tend to play other shooting games as well. Like they're also playing like Battlefield 6. They're also playing like Rainbow Six Siege. You know what I mean? They also play like Apex Legends. So even people in other genres tend to play other types of games within that particular genre. And these are casual people too. Even hardcore people, because you'll see somebody like a ninja or somebody who would focus on like a particular game, venture out and play other games. You also, the same thing with sports too. Like typically, somebody who plays like NBA 2K, they'll probably play like a UFC or a Fight Night or maybe even Madden or MLB The Show or something like that. So yeah, so if you're playing fighting games, you should be venturing out to some of these other fighting games too, because some of these other fighting games are really good, and you don't know what you might like unless you try it. So
In Tekken, me having to go up against only Mortal Kombat players in Mortal Kombat, playing against Street Fighter, only play Street Fighter. Now, this could be interesting. The only thing is, I don't like how it ties in with the whole Evo name. I think if they called it something else and had it be a different tournament name, it would have went better with the community. Because right now there's a lot of backlash. People do not like, because they're saying it diminishes Evo. It's also ruining the FGC. There's a lot of talk about this. It's ruining the FGC. It's killing grassroots. It also
You got to remember they have the Esports World Cup as well.
Yeah, and you want to share the details on that?
Basically, they had one last year, which it focused on Street Fighter and Tekken, but it still keeps the game separate.
Yeah, so you're
It's
saying
not like
along with
both.
so you're saying along with this Evo stuff, we're also going to have things like that from like Capcom or Namco.
Well, no, that's from the Saudis as well.
Oh, okay, so the Saudis are doing that. No, so that
Saudis are
huge
doing that.
Capcom thing with all that money was just from the Saudis? I thought it was.
yeah, I swear, like the Saudis are basically taking over. They're like buying up everything, bro. Like I wonder what's up. Like why they doing this? What's the plan? They can't like gaming this much.
From Capcom.
No, that's the Saudis because they had multiple games, multiple genres of games as well.
Yeah, so I guess when you think of it as like an FGC person, I could see how they could feel like this would, come into conflict with a lot of the events because there seems to be a lot less grassroots tournaments nowadays than there were back then. Yeah, I remember back then when I was going to tournaments like 2010s, there were like it felt like there was majors every month, grassroots happening. But now it seems like it's what like 4 to 5 tournaments a year now. You have Evo, you have CEO, you have Combo Breaker, you have I guess Frosty Frostings, a couple
I want to say I think that's probably because there are more like online tournaments. I think they've been having like online tournaments.
others. It seems like we lost a lot of tournaments. Do
Oh
you
yeah,
think?
we lost over a dozen.
Yeah, we lost so many. So now, do you think this now being a series, more people are going to focus and play more for this over going to CEO or Combo Breaker?
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen.
Nah, I
It's
think the
actually
opposite. I think people are gonna just not go.
no, they're gonna go.
No, they're
They're
not
gonna
gonna
go.
go. They gotta have the money. They're broke. The motherfuckers in the scene are broke.
Facts.
Again, it's one thing to go to Vegas. It's another thing to go to Morocco or China. And you got to remember, going there isn't like driving to Canada where you just show a passport and you're in. It's a lot more
You're talking about the
involved.
local. You're talking about just a normal, casual guy who's decent at the game. Yes, they will not.
Guys that used to go to Big E's events, now they want to go
Well,
play where you play.
are you talking about like really like great like Chris G? You think he's gonna go to
No,
all of them?
no, none of them are gonna.
I think the sponsored players will be, but the players that have to go to pocket probably too much traveling every month to go to a different country like that is kind of crazy.
It's gonna be then each. It's gonna be a regional champion, a guy who could get to that event the easiest. So there's gonna be like 8 or whatever it is, 10 of them. There's gonna be 10 different winners of all the different ones, and just because like
Yeah, something like this, you gotta have like no sort of life or work life balance or anything like that. Because your whole life has to be consumed by fighting games for the most part. Because you ain't working like a 9 to 5 and just going to all of these events. Like, first of all, you're not gonna be able to afford it. Second of all, what's the likelihood of you being able to get all these dates off? You know what I mean? I work at a job, but you know what I mean? Like if it was just one, like Evo Vegas or something like that, sure, I can plan that weekend off ahead of time. But you talking planning 9 events off ahead of time? That's wild. Like most employers are gonna have a hard time like approving that.
the New York guys couldn't get to Morocco, he could win that one. I'm just like a spitballing here, but like it's probably gonna be it's gonna be weird. Yeah, I guess it will be less because it's harder to get to these. Okay, so that's fair.
You basically you took Vegas, treated it as a gallon jug, and said, "Fuck it, let's pour 4 quarts out all over the world instead." So you're only going to get a quarter of the money you were getting at Evo. It ain't like you got 20,000 at Evo. You're going to get 20,000 in Singapore and then 20,000 in Morocco. You're going to get dribs and drabs of the people that are closest that can go, and that's it. And then the 1 or 2 FGC American people who want to see the world, they might take 2 or 3 of the cities in. But again, it's expensive. You've turned something that was like baseball, where all you had to do was buy a bat and a glove and a ball, and you were ready to play, and turned it into a money trap. They're not going to be able to afford to travel all. Even the sponsors aren't going to want to do it. They're going to tell their players, okay, there's 6 events, pick 2 of them that you
Yeah, I
think
can
you
see
got your
that.
best, and not just pick 2 of them. Pick 2 of them you think you got your best chance. It's like it's one thing to just pick 2, but I'm paying for you to go to an event. I got to look at the turnout. If I see Daigo and Justin Wong and Chris G and fucking a bunch of other top players, I might say, yeah, you've never won anything, but you're my player. Man, maybe you want to sit this one out. You know,
That's
give it a
harsh.
shot. You know, it's harsh, but it's a reality.
Yeah, no, I can
You
see
know,
sponsors being like, "Hey, man, look, we got 12 tournaments to go to this year around the world. I'm gonna send you one or two of them. We're not going to all of these, you know, unless you plan
yeah.
on winning all of them. Then we'll send you." But
I mean, I would do if you win it, I'll take you to the next one. The minute you lose, travel stops.
yeah, you know what's crazy is what if this is now opening this new Pandora's box? Or what if there's going to be a player? And I know this is very hard. Maybe it will not happen, but who knows? What if there's a player that ends up winning all of these separate
I
evos
knew
in
where he
every
was
part
going
of the
with that.
world?
No, that's not gonna happen.
So
Nah,
How insane would that
that's
be?
what probably
I don't think.
people
I
want to
don't
go
think it.
for.
I don't think it can happen because of the fact that it's multiple games.
Yeah, and distance and distance. They
You
can't.
know,
Sometimes they just can't get to it.
I don't think there's anybody, Sonic included, that has mastered all these games. That's what it comes down to. Now,
Yeah, it's
you
just the
might
thought
lose
that's
at
like,
one game. Yeah, but if you lose at one game and there's 5 games, you're still going to be, the 75 percentile of winners.
yeah,
So it
that's
really
true.
don't hurt you. It don't hurt you, but it'll be a game. Now it'll become a game of numbers. Of well, you went to this event, you won, but you went to this one and lost. This one you couldn't go to, so now this guy pulled ahead of you. So it's gonna be interesting to see, but I honestly don't think it's gonna last.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask both of you, how long do you think this is going to last? Let's say for this year. Do you think they're going to do it again next year and the year after? Like how long do you think it will happen for?
Well, I mean, Evo is Evo, so they will. If it doesn't work, they will probably make it less places. But I don't think. I think it'll work. I think it'll work.
You think it's gonna work?
They'll get enough people from their regions to buy tickets and keep going and keep it going. Yeah, it's gonna work.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't it work?
Yeah, I'll say this. I think the main Evo in USA, maybe Evo Japan, will suffer the most. But I think all of these other Evos in their own regions will probably have some talented players coming out to play and compete
I
in
could
that
agree
you
with that.
probably never got to see before because they just didn't have the means to travel or they
I could agree with that. Excuse me. I can agree with that. Vegas and Japan are definitely gonna suffer the most because they're not gonna have as many people going. Although Vegas is still gonna have like a lot of casual gamers and stuff like that heading there. They're still gonna suffer because like people from Europe may not be heading out to Vegas or Brazil or anything like that. Whereas people who live in Brazil, they are more likely going. You're gonna these other places are going to attract more of their casual audience, and who knows, some of those casuals may be goats. Like people forget, Ninja Killer was not a tournament player when he was like wiping Sonic Fox in Mortal Kombat X. You know what I mean? People like the Chilean twins wasn't like tournament players when they started wiping people in MK11. You know what I mean? So
didn't have the money or they didn't want to go to USA or whatever. So in a weird way, I can see it being good like that, like being a regional thing where you get to see the best players of every region compete in the tournament once a year. Like once a year, you get to see who are the best in China, who are the best players in Brazil, who are the best players in Morocco, and so on. That is kind of cool if you think of it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be cool to see some new faces. Um, but again, just because you make an event in Morocco doesn't mean you're going to get everybody from Morocco to come. Or from outside Morocco that's kind of close, they're not going to automatically come.
I think they'll get enough
So
casual
there's a
players to show up.
lot of variables in it that could go wrong. I think they're going to do okay this year, um, depending on how cutthroat they want to be at the end and look at numbers, crunch the numbers. It could either go stay the same or scale it back. But I don't see them doing it this year and saying, damn, we made bank. Let's expand it. I can't see them doing it.
No, that I don't see doing. But I do think each thing that they do, each country will do well. because it's easier for the like I said, the local crowd to come to those closer events. So they should do okay attendance wise and stuff as a company. That I don't see any issues with at all. As far as like the FGC is concerned, like game, like who's the guy going to each place to win? I don't know about that. So it's probably going to be 8 different and 12 different regional winners, and it is what it is. But Evo will be successful by its in that way. As far as gaming, as far as one guy, as far as Sonic going to each one, winning most of the games, do you think that's going to happen?
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I think. So
Some of these games, I mean, which fighting games are they featuring in Evo? I'm sure. Are they going to be having King of Fighters and stuff like? Because I know there's some absurd players in King of Fighters. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So games like that are hard to play because there's people that have been playing King of Fighters for decades on what is it, Fightcade, that are ridiculous at the game. Just even trying to get a game off some of these players is so
Did you
difficult.
ever try to get one of those? Did you ever try to get one off the subject? Did you ever try to get one of those combos out? One, the entire string.
I've never touched King of Fighters in my life, but I heard the execution is so strict. There's barely any buffering. You have to do everything. You have to input everything so quickly and fast that if you're just off by a frame on some of these basic combo and converts,
this is what I mean, dude. You got no game right now, right? You have nothing to play. Pick one of the go to one of the training modes or the tutorials on King of Fighters. It's literally like 30. You have to do like 30 things. I'm not even kidding. I've never done one, but I'm not a good game player. I'm being honest. I would love to see you do one of those. Just one. It's impossible. It's like hold back this that. You got to keep each.
You had to have
sequence.
played. You had to
Oh
have
my
played.
God.
You had to have played Neo Geo fighting game.
No, I was never much of a King of Fighters guy. He says that Rio isn't playing anything, but I'm pretty sure Rio's been playing like MKX and even MK1. He's been streaming like a lot of MK1 as well as MKX. Not sure. I think he might be dabbling in some MK11 from time to time, but I know he's been putting up a lot of MK1 videos, and I don't know. Sometimes he seems he likes it. Sometimes it seems like he hates MK1. He has like this weird love-hate relationship with it.
In order to really get the gist of, back to forward, quarter circle, back to straight to forward again.
3 buttons, hold this button down.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, but the thing is, Rio, you're such a good game player. You should try these weird games, man.
I would probably love this something because I love execution.
That's what I mean. I'm
games.
gonna have to try to start sending you. I might even have free. I gotta look through my. Another thing is, I have like 10, 12,000 free games because I have Humble Bundle. I'm gonna look for all.
Anybody check out the stream, like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
If I have them, I probably have codes to most of these old games. I give you a code so you can just like log into something, so you just see how hard this is, and maybe you'd be amazing at it. Maybe you'd like it. Maybe you'd have something else to do. Then focus on. You got no game right now, dude. I know you don't.
I mean, in a weird way, though, I have MK1. See, a lot of people. I know a lot of people are kind of over MK1. They moved on, but to me, MK1's still new because I got back into it in January.
Okay.
And I've only played
but
one.
It's not a game. It's not like it's dead though. That's the thing. Like it doesn't matter. I'm not putting you down or anything. I'm just saying.
Yes and no. I mean, I guess it's dead if you plan to go to Evo or go to tournaments and that. But to me, it's not really dead because I get to play when I boot it in. I just play Combat League and I find people in literally 2 seconds.
No, I get that, but you're a competitive player. You'd love it to still be on the main circuit. Of course you would. I know you. You want to fucking win. Now you're winning versus dudes online. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm barely beating them. I'm actually getting my ass beat in these Combat League matches.
Yeah. He getting washed. He getting washed in them joints.
It's no support. It's done. Everyone knows it's done. There's haters all now. It's done. So there's no game for you.
Well, here's the thing. So from Ed Boon's last tweet, when he talked about MK1,
I mean, he says that for his reason to play KOF, but is KOF still alive and kicking? Like, I'm not sure. I'm generally asking. I'm not sure.
The patch that they did last month in January, it was actually, he said, and I know we should all take what Boone says with a grain of salt, because then in MK11 he also said there's more support to come, but then it never happened. So he could be lying again here, but he did say when somebody asked, hey, is this the last update for MK1 last month on Twitter? He replied and said no. there's one more update planned. So with that said, they may do another update maybe next month or soon. But if they don't, then yeah, I think MK1 is going to be the way it is forever. Is Evo going to pick it up again next year or whenever? I don't know.
No.
I guess
Nope, not happening.
No.
No way.
Yeah, I guess it really would depend what they would do. I guess they would have to do a combat pack, something big.
No, even if it's done, they're not when they.
I mean, we don't know. The fact of the matter is we don't know, because that's what kind of happened to MK11. Like MK11 was, excuse me, wasn't supposed to have like a second Evo, but instead it ended up having like 3 more Evos. It ended up having an online Evo 2021, then it had its live Evo at 2022 and 2023. So like Mortal Kombat 1, out of all of the NetherRealm franchises, has like some of the most appearances at Evo. Mortal Kombat 11 has some of the most appearances at Evo than any other like NetherRealm game. And it has like a total of 4 appearances. And in fact, the viewership for MK11 was actually increasing as the years went on. So you can't really say that. And Mortal Kombat 11 hadn't had a patch since like 2001, 2020, 21, 2020, late 2000. No, I think it was 2021. Sometime in 2021 was like the last patch it got. So the fact that it still went to Evo 2022 and even Evo 2020, Evo 2020, yeah, so Evo 2022, it went to Evo 2022 as well as Evo 2023, which by the time it came out in Evo 2023, it hadn't had an update in like a year and a half. Like the game was definitely like officially dead. It's just a testament. Like you just don't know. You don't know. Mortal Kombat 11 technically didn't have an Evo 2020, but to be fair, it was no Evo 2020 due to COVID, but it wasn't supposed to be at Evo 2020 anyway. So who's to say like next year there's not enough fan outcry for Mortal Kombat 1 that they go ahead and put Mortal Kombat 1 in the circuit? Especially if you consider some of the games that's out there. Like what if Marvel Tokon comes out and it flops? What if Invincible comes out and it flops? What if the Avatar game comes out and flops? Like we already know like 2XKO is kind of sort of flopping right now. So like if all of those games like fall off because they kind of flop and nobody's really playing them and stuff like that, that may open up spots for something like an MK1 to come back next year.
When they said that, what was that tweet they said that in all so many words that the game's done, we're not supporting it, whatever, people went fucking nuts. That was it. It's not gonna be picked up by anybody. It's not gonna be at any tournament. It's just gonna be locals. And I'd be surprised if it comes to it like Evo or something. I doubt it. Highly doubt it. It's over.
I mean, you look at Evo. You look at Evo's lineup, and it's and again, no disrespect to fucking anime people, but it's like you got Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Fatal Fury. After that, you got Under Night, Grand Blue, Rivals of Ether, 2XKO, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and then you got VF5, Vampire Savior, and Invincible.
Right, and no MK. So there you go.
You guys know exactly why MK was pulled from Evo? Did it have like a bad issue last year when it was at Evo?
Poor numbers.
Yeah, poor numbers.
Why?
I'd have to double check those numbers because if I'm not mistaken, MK1 was not the least watched or entered fighting game of that year. Like I think it was like I think it was what 7 games. I think it was like the 5th most watched and played game that year. So I don't. It didn't have the poorest numbers, and in fact, I think there are games that are going out to this Evo right now that actually had lower numbers last year than Mortal Kombat 1. So.
Poor numbers.
Why promote a game that's getting poor numbers?
True. I guess if the community isn't supporting it and doesn't want to come out for the game, then why should we feature the game? I get that mindset. But I'm curious, they had what, like 300 people for MK1 Evo last year?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Were they still number 3 most entrances, or was it other games above them? Like I know it was Street Fighter, Tekken, but did other games were above them, or was MK still number 3 with 300 people?
I remember watching it on TV, like, and there was no one in the room. It was like it was. There's no hype for MK.
They're exaggerating.
They dropped it. The numbers, definitely numbers. It was. It's
It's kind of
It had like 350 people that signed up for it. There was like 2 games that actually had less, if I'm recalling correctly.
sad because this reminds me of the whole MKX thing. In MKX, they released the final patch for the game, but that final patch was never at a big tournament or like another Evo. It was just NRS released a patch for it, but then Evo and stuff dropped it, so we never got to see what would the final version of MKX look like at Evo again and this and that. It seems like the same thing is happening with MK1 now, where we got this update last month, but is Evo ever going to pick up the game again to show us what this patch looks like with the game? Like, it's just.
I think if I remember correctly, Evo, I think they got like 700 people to show up, and then if I remember correctly, Street Fighter 6 had 6,000, and Tekken had like 5,000.
Damn, 6,000 to 300 is a huge difference.
You know,
man,
Why
even Guilty Gear had like 2,000.
why do you guys feel like these other games?
So I stand mistaken. It does look like Mortal Kombat actually had the Mortal Kombat 1 actually had the least amount of numbers. On the Night in Birth, as well as Grand Blue Fantasy, definitely had more entries. I want to say these are entries. So yeah, I stand mistaken.
These other fighting games in that GC are so much more popular than Mortal Kombat.
Because the MK community's self-deluded scumbags, and they're not a welcoming community. They're dickheads to each other. They treat each other like shit. That's been going on forever.
Oh, since the beginning.
And why
We've
do I
always been
want
the
to
laughing
go?
stock.
You know, I go to work fucking Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day to get told I'm a piece of shit by my boss. And then when I go home to try and get online and play some game, I got people calling me a scumbag piece of shit. I don't have to fucking deal with it. I just won't play. I won't support.
I'm not going to speak for the other games because I don't know the communities. I know the MK community. I've been a part of it forever. It's pretty bad. I don't know if it's like that with the other. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure there's a lot more respect. Yeah, there's shit talkers everywhere, but MK, everybody hates you. They're
Yeah.
just hated. So it's really like this niche circle of.
Okay, so do you feel like it's more of the community holding the game back, or you think it's the gameplay causing people?
Combination of
It's a
both.
combination of everything. Yeah, definitely.
You know, the game has its issues, but the community amplifies it to make it worse.
Do you think people kind of lash out on other people because of their issues and things that they don't enjoy in the game? They kind of take it out on people that they're playing against.
Yeah, you get the typical line, you're only mad at the game because you're not good. No, I'm mad at the game because it sucks. It's not fun. You know, and that's the truth. Even if you're playing it and half-assed enjoying it, really take yourself back to the Mortal Kombat that you truly loved since the beginning, and compare it to the feelings you get now playing, and tell me what the difference is.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
you bring up a good point.
what was your favorite MK out of all of them?
See, this is the bad example because my favorite MK out of all of them was Deception, but that game used to make me rage so bad that I used to break controllers.
But did you have fun when it was going your way? Was it enjoyable?
When I was beating people, it was the best feeling in the world because then I got to. This sounds so spiteful, but I got to have people feel the way I felt when I was losing and getting fatality and feeling like now they got the other side, and that felt so good. But I feel like that's such a toxic like state to play a game.
No, it's
Where
not.
it's like someone has to suffer and someone has to have a good time.
Yeah,
Because Deception was literally that. Deception was you played something in the game, somebody was suffering, somebody was having fun. The other person was not going to be able to play, but we got their infinite first, and it was just is what it is.
It's the same attitude that the community does overall with people in general, not even game related. You know, there's winners and there's losers, and in their mind, they're the winners, you're the loser.
I
No
wonder why
matter
Mortal
whether you're
Kombat's
good at the
that saying
game
out.
or not. It's they like to push this narrative that it's a welcoming community. That's such a crock of shit.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Its community's never been welcoming.
Nope.
They
Someone new to hate if someone's good.
yeah.
There's no welcoming anything.
And it's like once you're isolated as one of the bad, they talk to each other like a hive mind, and they fucking basically ostracize you, but then call you a piece of shit for not showing up. You call me a scumbag online all day. Now you want me to show up to an event, or now you want me to help with a crowd fund, or now you want me to help with this. Nah, I'm good. And many people will hear this and they'll say, "Oh, James is just mad." No, I wanted the community to succeed. I gave you the formula. You just didn't want to listen.
I don't know if that's the way, if that's how it is in Street Fighter and Tekken. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's just. I
I
know that
mean,
in MK.
listen, Evo
Yeah.
2024 had
Mhm.
6,000 people. That was last year's Evo for Street Fighter.
Pretty damn good.
How many people do you think they're going to get this year for Street Fighter? Think it'll be similar or will it be a big drop off?
I think it's going to be a big drop off because a lot of people are going to say, "Well, it's coming closer to me here."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It could.
Especially the people that have already attended Evo Vegas, they're going to go, "Well, I've been there already."
Yeah, he makes a good point.
Why
But
go there
maybe
now?
they're also doing that casual gamer approach thing that Legacy did. Like, we're just doing this for the casual game, so they could just sell the whole place out.
No, they're not doing that.
And
No, they're not doing
okay,
it. No.
okay.
But like, to a person that's been going to Evo for 15 years, why the fuck do I want to go 16 if I can go to fucking China instead, or
I
fucking
think
another country?
Chris G said that. I was reading his tweets, and he's just like, "Well, there's no longer one king now. Now it's got to be." He doesn't understand why they're doing it. Should be only. It used to be like one event. You win that one, you're the best.
Mm.
Now what?
It's all about generating more money. You cut the scale back. Listen, you're going to set up in these other countries a hell of a lot cheaper of a design than you would for fucking Evo Vegas. Evo Vegas has got to cost them a couple of mil. Couple of mil. And 20,000. Here, let's do the math. Let's just say 20,000 for argument's sake. So 20,000 times 300 is $6 million. That's if you got 20,000 people to show up, you get 6 million. Now we know in the real world, you're not getting 20,000.
No, you're probably getting like 8, maybe
You
9.
know, you're
Mm-hmm.
getting, let's say 15,000. Not, and I wouldn't even go with that. Let me clear that.
Oh yeah, it
Let's
is
go with
probably more than 8
12,000
because there's people that comes with their significant
times
others, so it is
300
more than 8,000.
gives you 3.6 million. That'll
Yeah.
allow you. Now you're spending probably 2 million in production and probably another million in payroll and other side shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that leaves you 600,000 left profit. And then I'm sure there's some other miscellaneous charges of stuff that you're gonna have to, take hold of. Now that's just if 12,000 people show up. Now I think Evo in Vegas is going to average between 9 and 10,000 total when
Okay.
everything's
Total.
said
Okay.
and done. Yeah, when everything's said and done. Do they have? Let me see. Do they have the turnout numbers for Evo
I
2025
mean,
yet?
that's
Let's
still a
see.
lot. That's still a lot of people.
2025. Evo's trial registration. Evo will soon have 9 events. Fucking 9 events.
Yeah. Well, here. Before this is the Chris G tweet. Everyone doing everything other than making a good tournament that's memorable for everyone. First, you price out everyone, then you make 22 more Evos. What the fuck is even happening?
All right, so
I was
so
reading all these tweets today. crazy.
Yeah, so when you think about it, the venue fee for Evil last year was pretty expensive. It was like over $100. So now imagine the venue fee for all these together, all the people that are going to each one. It racks up. So instead of them getting 100 venue fee per person at one tournament once a year, now they have the opportunity to get a lot more of that 100 venue fee charge for all these different tournaments in different areas. So imagine you're one person, but imagine you're somebody who wants to go to all these Evos. All of them each is like $100 venue fee. So now that's like over $1,000 just to sign up in all of them. Then you got to get the flight for all them. Hotel, like
hotels.
Unless you're rich.
All right, so I just added up the 2025 numbers.
All right, what do you got?
They got roughly 11,000 people. That's it. So 11,000 times 300 is 3.3 million. That's without them paying anything out for bills or anything. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Your numbers are dropping. I mean, even if you look, you know, let me see what 2024 numbers were. Let's see. Evo. $2024 numbers. All right. By the numbers. So let's see. Here we go. Let's redo this. All right. Clear. 5,000. 5,000 plus.
You're really trying to do math here.
The amount of quality of matches both terrible. 5.
Skip ahead a little
it says,
bit.
I don't know if this is right, whatever. It says it's generally starting in the $150 to $200 range. So right there, you're $100 off, Rio. So I just was never part of that team in Street Fighter and stuff. If you weren't a Street Fighter nerd, you should go to Evo. I mean, they were getting the spotlight.
Evo's huge for Street Fighter.
It was so
basically like the premier game, if you think about it.
You know, all those guys.
They ain't really talking about nothing that this video is actually coming to an end, so all the hot topics is probably done for. They're kind of like spitballing to kind of kill some time because they like to keep it around two hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope you liked the video. I know I did a lot of listening, but I did put in some input. So if you did like my input and my reaction to what they were saying, definitely like, share, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos.
To them young boys in the hood with big dreams of being superstars, don't let nobody tell you that you can't, but you gotta work super hard. To the older man who feels his life is over cause he wasted his standing on corners, one thing I learned about the streets, it's never too late for a come up. I was told before that I couldn't do it. I remember being told by my own peeps not to rap, and singing in my hood wasn't popular, but I got respect for it cause I was a beast. Facts. If you got a dream, you gotta stay committed, you can get it, but you gotta be a beast, you can't slack for a minute. Remember this.